and welcome to the third edition of the EZNZ Podcast. As you can see, I've been ditched. Hannah's on a well-deserved break in Vancouver, Canada, living it up large in yet another rainy country. You'd think it would snow more in Canada, right? But instead she's enjoying some rainy weather, making her feel like she's at home. You will get to see her later on in this podcast. She is coming to us from Vancouver, visiting a Microsoft store to give us a fantastic experience. I've never actually gotten to be to one, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like and checking that out. In the meantime, while she's away, I don't want to just sit here talking to you guys on my own until we get to see her over in the Microsoft store. So I've asked Karen Robson, the category manager for Surface in New Zealand, to come on. She'll be on with us in just a few minutes. And we're also getting a revisit from John O'Cochrane, the Microsoft PC accessories category manager. It's an absolute awesome experience to be able to have them on, to conduct a bit of an interview with both of them, to find out more, find out some of their best Microsoft experiences, and hopefully give you guys some more information that you can take back to store and use when you're selling. I won't keep you much longer. Let's get on to the interview with Karen. Hi everyone, as you can see, we've now got our special guest in for the day, Karen Robson, who is absolutely awesome. She's our Surface category manager, definitely not buttering her up at the moment, not at all. As we know from last week, PCA is the best category, but actually,
No.
I think Karen's got a different opinion.
Surface is definitely the best. No matter what John O'Cochrane says, it's definitely Surface all the way.
Yeah, Surface is cool, right? It's got that pizzazz. But I've got a few questions for Karen today.
Yeah.
We wanna find out a little bit more about what makes Karen love Surface and how she got to being the category manager. A little bit about her journey and her experience. So
Very well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fletcher. The journey has been a long one. Started in IT back in '93, but previous to that, I was actually a florist. So
well, I only found this out yesterday, and I was like, "What? Really? I can't imagine." Well, I actually can a little bit imagine you being a florist.
yeah, it was, and I absolutely loved it. So did an apprenticeship in floristry, and then ended up at the Regent and Hyatt hotels as the senior florist there, and even had my own florist shop in Takapuna for a period of time. And then along the way, I ended up going into IT. So the girl that couldn't or anything. So ended up then working for my ex-husband's business, and we did that for 5 years. And then I ended up in distribution. So started at Tech Pacific, which later became Ingram Micro. Left there and went to Vendorland and was at Belkin for 5 years doing national account manager for Harvey Norman. So I travelled considerably. I was away 26 weeks of the year.
Yeah,
I did the whole of New Zealand just for Harvey's, and that was great. I mean, in those days, Belkin was just flying. It was in their heyday, great product. Apple had just come out, so there were all the Apple accessories, iPod, iPad, not even iPad actually back then, it was just the iPod, and I think that was it actually. The phone was just coming through. And from then on there, I went to D-Link and did a bit of networking product for a while, back still in that consumer side of the business, so that's where my background is.
Yeah.
And then back into distribution for Synix for 5 years, and I was the Microsoft general manager there, so I looked after the whole of the Microsoft business, so that was Surface, Xbox, PCA and OEM, and there was a team of 5 of us there doing that, so that was really good. And from there into the job, well, I actually came here as a PCA category manager, and from there I've moved into the Surface category manager, which was the role that I really came here for. That's what I wanted. So really pleased with how it's worked out and just love it.
That's
really
cool.
good.
For those of you who don't know, Karen's actually a little bit world famous. Everyone in New Zealand knows who she is if they work in IT distribution. I was working in store at the time that Karen was in Synix, but my wife was working with her, so it's pretty cool that we've come to the journey to work together. I was very excited when I heard I was going to be based out of the office here and sitting next to Karen, so So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, New Zealand's so small, we all just, everyone ends up going around in the same, we end up working with others, then we won't, then we'll come back. It's the way it moves.
It's cool. It's a very, very small world, but very, very cool one.
Yeah.
So what I really wanted to ask you, and it's a question that's kind of hard to answer. I always struggle myself. But what's your favourite Surface experience or memory?
There's a few. It's been a 5-year journey, so quite a lot. But day one, really, when Cynic signed the contract and we got Surface to distribute in New Zealand, and it was just a change of. It was building a new category. It was exciting. I mean, there were we had RT that wasn't so good. I mean, I've still got an RT at home. And back in the day, it was a great product.
It was.
That was fantastic. When Pro 2 came out, that was a big change.
Yeah.
And that was exciting. I mean, we couldn't get stock. It was selling so fast. We were permanently out of stock. And I really think that laptop colour, just awesome.
That's cool.
Really love it. And it's just a beautiful product. It's so well designed. I love my laptop. I mean, I love my book, but laptop is very cool.
It's funny because we had in our first week, we were talking about that whole 5-year journey as well. It's funny because you mentioned so many of the similar things, like we talked about RT. Hannah's parents still use RT. I made my sister buy an RT because I thought it was that awesome. And such a cool idea. And then with Surface Pro 2, the great stock shortage. I think it was famous. Hannah told a story about a guy who actually couldn't find it in Hong Kong, couldn't find it in New Zealand, but as soon as he brought a Pro 3, he came and told Hannah all about it, which is really cool.
I mean, Pro 2 back in the day, I would spend my day just taking phone calls from retailers.
Yeah.
Where's my stock? Where's the stock? And we
I was probably one of those annoying people. Yeah.
But it was such a good product.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it. It was just, and that was the change. At that time,
It's so cool, and it really was that creation of a new category, and that's something that's just been so awesome to, get to see the process, from working in store. I wish I was getting that same, because I was excited when it hit the floor with just the original one. It was such an exciting product to actually get in and get your hands on.
Exactly. And I think the way Microsoft have done it with the whole Surface category has been building a new category.
Yeah.
It's brought the other OEMs up.
Heck yes.
Yeah, and it's completely changed their product line as well. Premium, modern device, we've basically forced that.
Yeah.
And really exciting times.
Yeah, I think that's cool, and like you mentioned the laptop as well as being your favourite, and I'm personally, I think everyone knows my favourite is the books for sure. But we were doing some training at the start of last week, and so I got to take a whole bunch of laptops home and put some RDX on them, which is always a fun thing. It's actually fun taking all the things home, seeing what's changed in RDX and getting to know it a bit more. But my mum, who's a technophobe, she's definitely a technophobe. She quilts for a living, which should probably say a little bit about something. She was panicking the other night because Office ran out on her computer, so I got her to sign up on a monthly basis until I could share one of my own with her codes. But she just walked up while I was setting up the laptops, and she just touched the Alcantara and she was sold. She didn't have to do anything, and I think that really speaks to how far the design has come, and how unique it is and how it has really changed things.
Definitely, and it's just so light.
Yeah.
It's easy to carry. It resonates really well with students. We know that, and women. I think it's something you can pick up. You can put it in your handbag, and when you're traveling, it's not. I still travel with my Pro because of the light.
Yeah.
It's so light. Book I don't. I just find it a bit too heavy.
Yeah.
But the laptop is definitely. It just looks so good.
It's cool, and I think it's really important, to actually put, particularly devices like the laptop and the Pro and the book, and showing customers how to change it, but putting it in the customer's hands, because for someone who might not understand, i5, they might even struggle if they're really, really big into their technophobia. They might struggle with even demos and stuff. But no one will struggle with touching something that's great quality and
it's such a tactile product,
it
is all about that feel.
It 100% is, and probably one of the most important questions coming off that. What's your favourite Surface laptop colour? Blue? Yeah, see, the right answer is red, because red things go faster.
It's
but
burgundy.
blue is cool too.
It's not red.
Oh yeah, sorry. Good catch out. I'm going to be super embarrassed. You guys can absolutely bombard me for that. But yes, burgundy, because burgundy things go faster too.
Right.
It's still under that kind of shade.
Right. I just think the whole, and it's the colour story.
Yeah.
And I know for you guys out there, it's been hard. We've had really low accessories. That is starting to come through. We should start to see pen colours out in stores very shortly. But once you get, pen not so much on book, but you've got that beautiful mouse.
Yeah.
It just looks so good.
And
we're always
so cool.
working on getting new things coming through as well.
Yeah.
So I was at Start a couple of weeks ago and we saw some other things, but we also actually saw a case that we were like, why can't we have this made into a laptop case?
Yeah.
It was just the perfect product. So hopefully they'll go back, and we're hoping that they will do it in exactly the colour range, so it will be a perfect match.
That's cool.
So,
I didn't know that.
It may not come up, but it was just some feedback that everyone had been like, oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
It may never happen.
But that's another cool thing, and another reason that particularly me and Hannah love working for Microsoft is because the feedback gets so taken on board.
Yeah, it does.
Like Hannah always tells a story about there's actually a building in Seattle where the Microsoft headquarters is, and it's just dedicated to reading feedback. So feedback you guys give to our field team, that you give to us, it's really, really cool that it actually gets taken and something gets done about it, or at least it gets put forward as an idea.
It does. It's invaluable to us, and Microsoft is all about feedback.
Yeah.
So anything you want to send to us, send it directly. I can forward that on.
That's cool. See, like if you do have any cool ideas, definitely shout it out in the comments, because we want to hear it. No, so that's cool. Do you have anything else you want to go over? I think that experience story was very cool.
Yeah, no, nothing else, but just it is a fantastic product. And honestly, look, reach out to me through Yammer, and can definitely, we can chat on there. If you want anything more, I'm always available. So definitely just reach out and.
That's awesome. And we will always try rope our special guests back on. So if you do have any questions for Karen that you do want some answers to, or any questions about Surface category in general, let us know in the comments below. And hopefully next time Karen's on, she can go through a few of them.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen.
No problem.
We've also got another special guest on today, and that is the marvellous Jono Cochrane, category manager for PC accessories. According to him, the best category.
Absolutely the best category. That is the first time I've been called marvellous though. So
marvellous? You deserve it more often.
Thank you.
I have to say though, K Robs, that's Karen's street name.
Yeah.
She might be
She came in a bit earlier, did she? She
came in a bit earlier, and she was saying something about Surface being the best category.
Okay.
So you might want to sort that out later on between the two.
Well, better together anyway.
I'm not trying to start anything here,
It
but
seems like you are.
Just being honest. But yeah, so Jono again has come back on. He was awesome last time. I think everybody loved him. And we want to ask him some questions again this time. He was just so great. But probably the first question that I want to find out, and I hope you guys want to know more about too, I'm sure you do, is how did you get into your current role? What was kind of like your journey through your career or whatever that made you end up here?
Yeah, so I mean it was pretty good. I'll jump forward a bit. I mean I was working for a distributor, and we distributed Microsoft products at the time, so it was Surface and Xbox.
Nice.
And a role came up within that team at the distributor to work visiting stores, helping merchandise, working with buyers to just make sure stock levels were okay and that our product looked well. on the shelves. Back then it was the initial Surface, the first ever one, which was really exciting, and got to go through the launch of Xbox One.
Nice.
As well.
I didn't think about that. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, back in 2013. So no, and then sort of from there, I was able to meet people like yourselves. The Jason Spiller was the person at that time in the master trainer role, and we were doing things together, and he sort of moved onwards and upwards, and the role came up as master trainer. So I was doing what you were doing, of course, and dealing with a lot of you guys at retail as well, guys and girls. And then just sort of moved into category. This role came up. So for me, it was definitely something that I wanted to jump at and have a go with. And you know, the one thing that I do see, and I talk to category managers and account managers, is you know, we all look at our products, Microsoft products, a different way because of what we have to do day in, day out. You know, for myself, it's forecasting and, you know, things like that within Excel. For you guys, it's, you know, heroing these products and telling stories about it. And I think one thing that goes really well is the way that we integrate in, and we you know, we make sure everybody has the same level of excitement and information to be able to make it successful, you know, in your stores as well, and that carries on from us internally to the retailers. So
that's cool. So that's how you would have met K-Robs as well through that journey, and a few of the other people. No, I used to myself and K-Robs used to work at the distributor together, and we found ourselves back at Microsoft together. So just following each other.
And she's my boss again. So, no, that's quite enjoyed.
That's all, and of course working with my lovely wife.
Exactly. So, I used to work with Fletcher's wife, and I heard all about him before I even met him.
All the bad things.
All the bad things. You know, when she'd come in grumpy. And,
No, that's awesome, and that's cool. I totally forgot about the Xbox One launch. I can't believe that I forgot that happened, because I was still in store when that went down. We were talking with Karen earlier today about you know, when the Surface came out, and we talked a little bit about that on the first podcast. But how did you feel when that happened? Like, take me on a journey back to the launch of Xbox One.
I was quite lucky actually. So I remember it was actually K-Robs. We were sitting in our little office when I was at the distributor, and she shut the door and said, "Do you want to go to Singapore?" And I said, "Of course I do." That's a silly question. It ended up being Thailand, but they flew us as in-store representatives at the time, you know, from the Asia Pacific region, what they called it, to Thailand to learn all about it. We got hands-on with it before anyone. I don't know about anybody, but certainly, you know, one of a group of the first people to try it. We played Rise, Son of Rome.
Oh the hero game, one of the hero games at least.
And we got to play around with it. We were allowed to take pictures with it. I remember putting it on Facebook, pretty pumped up and excited about it, and you know, just sort of going through that journey, and then of course, you know, all the announcements and how we executed it in store, and you know, getting all that feedback from end users and retailers like yourselves. So yeah, the Xbox One launch I think was big. I think next generation console launches in general, not just ours, were quite a big...
It was a big deal at the time, right?
A really big deal, because you know, the way that it works, I believe in console gaming, is it's not necessarily, you know, like a device like this where it needs to be refreshed constantly, because it's more of a software sort of package thing that helps drive that. And it's very software related when it comes to gaming as well.
Yeah, and it's just keeps growing in that category. I keep talking a lot about you know, Game Pass and Play Anywhere and just digital content. You guys would have seen the latest Expert Zone Welcome to the Family Win. One of the family challenges was about digital content on Xbox, and it's just amazing to see that transition. You know, like I had 360. I had a massive collection of games. I gave them to one of my wife's family over in Vietnam to have a jam, but like now I definitely don't have as much, and I've noticed in the last few, like maybe year or two, I've almost, gone from getting a new game in a packet or a CD every
Every
few
time one
months,
releases, yeah.
and now it's barely any, and I'm getting all this free stuff through Xbox Live Gold, and yeah, it's amazing how it's just kind of clicked like that and changed in the latest generation.
Yeah, do you remember like your TV would be sitting there and it'd be on it'd be on I don't even know what they're called, what a TV sit on, a cabinet,
entertainment
centre, and there'd be, back in the day, because I'm a bit old, there used to be a CD rack down the side.
I remember the CD racks
for audio, and then you'd stand up all your games.
Yeah.
And I think I've got one drawer in my set of clothing drawers that's got a few games in it, but largely I don't swap out games, and that's nothing against physical copies of games at all, but it's so much easier because I've got Connect as well. I can just say switch to this, or Cortana go to this game, and lucky Cortana didn't show up
activate then.
But yeah, I think digital is sort of the way way it's looking at, and you get a lot of you mentioned Xbox Live Gold. I think having those in your library, even if you don't install them, when those free games come out monthly,
just purchase.
I always go and purchase them, and I may not install it. I'll just sort of pause it, and if I want to come back to it later, I will. And now I've got such a big library, and it includes the 360 games, and with backwards compatibility, I still had a few discs that I wanted to play. So that is pretty exciting.
It is crazy. I kind of see it almost being like the move from books to digital books on the Kindle and the Kobo. I'm a Kobo user, so I've got to shout them out. That's kind of what happened with games, and I was very late at adopting. Moving away from hard copies of books as well, and I reckon I was probably a little bit later than most of starting to shift away from the CD-driven games. But once you actually do it, I've got so much more space. I used to have 3 or 4 shelves of books. I used to have racks of games. It's actually something I just actively keep trying to move towards now. I really enjoy it.
No, it is.
So, we hear a lot of great stories from you. Got the Xbox story.
Okay.
But is there one that you would say is your favorite Microsoft experience?
That'd be up there in terms of it, but probably my favorite, and it wasn't for any flashy reason or like that. I went to. I got to go overseas to the mothership in Redmond. When Pro 3 was being launched.
That would have been cool. Pro 3 was a really cool. Big deal.
But at the same time, Windows 8.1 came in, and people may remember Windows 8. And the journey from Windows 8 to now Windows 10, and I always thought that Windows 8 it didn't work for a lot of people, but it wasn't horrible. But it just sort of they got most of the stuff right. But I thought it was 2 operating systems sort of working together with the tablet side and then with the desktop. And of course Windows 10 just smashed it in terms of the way that we integrated in. But what struck out to me was when we sat down and when Windows 8.1 update came out, we added the start button back and a lot of new features that sort of in the end, merged into what Windows 10 was. It was just a way of listening to, executives and, product managers at that high level and how much they wanted to listen to what we had to say, or how much, and it may be just not what we wanted to say, but what we had heard in the field. And they said to us at that time, and it's all over the place now, but that feedback button there is there for a reason. And it felt like me that if we gave them an example or a feature or something that we want them to do in Windows, if they could do it, they would do it. If it made sense sort of thing. And, Windows 10 was really designed for, but by the people, I think, quite a lot. The insider preview went for a very long time.
Like a year, right? Almost.
A very long time. The Ninja Kitty, became prevalent.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, just, coming from, XP and Windows 7 and then Windows 8, and just hearing that, or just seeing that change of mindset, and it was probably present before that, but that was the first time that I'd been there. I think that was pretty exciting for me when that happened. So
that's awesome. That's really cool, and it's also really cool that you brought up the feedback side, because again, me and K-Robs were talking about that earlier. Just how awesome it is to be working for a company that takes on board that feedback so much.
Yeah.
And utilizes it. Like you say with Windows 10, it's not an example I even thought of, but I think that's really awesome for you guys who are listening, right? To be able to hear that coming out of three of us, and Jono brought it up without us even going down that road of the conversation. So definitely keep hitting us up with what you want to hear in these podcasts, what you want to hear from our special guests like the amazing Jono Cochrane. Just keep firing it at us, like Karen did say earlier. But I've got one more question.
One more question. It's
probably the most important question.
Is that right?
And K-Rob's got it wrong earlier.
She got it wrong?
She got it wrong.
Okay.
What's the best laptop colour?
The best laptop colour?
The best Surface laptop colour.
Well, this may be an unpopular answer, but I really like the graphite gold.
Fair enough.
I really, really did. We heard things like dirty platinum, and people would laugh at it, and why is it there, and it looks similar to platinum. But for me, I really like the graphite gold.
Now that's cool.
Was
that's
that
the wrong answer again. but that's graphite gold, cobalt blue, K-Rob's both fantastic.
Yeah.
But as we already know, burgundy's the best colour.
Burgundy, and you're going to say
red things go faster.
I
didn't call it red that time though, so I won't get a slap.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely burgundy.
It's definitely burgundy.
Burgundy goes fast as well, but yeah, no, I did enjoy the graphite gold, and it wasn't a view shared by a lot of people. But hey, I'm different, so...
We've still got one more awesome section that's coming up after this, and I don't mean to spoil it. You guys know that Hannah's in Canada right now, and she's doing a bit of a report from overseas for us. And there's actually a scene where she's showing the colour laptops in the store. And my gosh, the gold one actually did look nice. I will give it that. I think it does. Yeah, there was looking at it again, and for some reason on that video, it was a good quality video, despite her, holding her phone. I was like, damn, that's actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good.
No, I think it's...
All of them are.
I think the tone on that, with the Alcantara, because each of our, whether it's burgundy or cobalt, there's the cobalt, there's the chassis, and then there's the Alcantara, and it's sort of that tone on tone. I thought the graphite gold was the best representation of that tone on tone. Just the way that, I love the way that screen sort of just flows into a keyboard.
Yeah.
And you can't really tell there's a hinge there.
That's pretty awesome. It's those little details that just bring
as soon as you open it up, it's easy to open up with one finger.
One finger lift.
And then it just sort of flows from a pixel sense screen into a Alcantara keyboard.
With some amazing Omnisonic speakers hidden underneath.
Yeah, there you go.
What a package.
Look at us. Yeah.
What a package.
There's something that sort of stuck out to me before when you mentioned about feedback, backing off that. If you see our field team in stores and they're holding their Surface devices and they're doing a report, we love to hear your feedback on store-specific stuff as well. But it can be anything. But when you see them with that device and they're ticking off all of those, I'm writing in there, that's what they're doing. They're getting that kind of feedback.
They are.
Yeah.
It's super important, and we actually all read through that feedback once a week.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
For us in category, it's absolutely necessary, and without information, we don't know. And it helps us. Information creates insights, and insights can help us make decisions, and decisions create impact. So
it's pretty. What a great line.
Yeah,
I think I've heard you say it before.
But keep it up.
No, awesome.
And if you don't want to see me back on the podcast, I can take that feedback as well. So.
No, that's. I want to see you back on.
I want to come back.
Jono rescued me. He let me use an awesome picture. Can't help but point it out.
Yeah.
Go Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets. From way back.
When.
But I think next time I come back, I'll revert back to PC accessories and shout it out. And if you did watch the last one, we went through a few of the newer products, and I'd love to bring another one back next time. So.
And you guys were beasts with answering that special question.
Man, who won?
There were like 5 comments
and
within the first day.
Long.
It did not take long. I was expecting, because that's not an easy answer to find online, so you guys are all over that Expert Zone course, so keep that up.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it.
Great job.
Yeah,
and great job, John. Thanks for coming on again. 2 weeks in a row.
More than welcome.
Exciting times.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks, guys. We'll move on to the next section.
Thank you.
What is up, EZNZ Podcast? As you can see, we've got a super special segment for you guys this week. You may be able to notice that I'm somewhere different. I'm currently on holiday in Vancouver, Canada, and as you can see, I can't help myself, and I'm right outside the Microsoft store. Let's go see what awesome devices, and fingers crossed they let us film in there. Come on, let's go. So let's take a quick look around, guys. Look at how clean and pristine this awesome store is. Got RDX running on every single device, which really improves your customer experience. But of course, I'm naturally attracted to the Surface family. Look at her go in all of her glory, all that Alcantara goodness, all of that beautiful platinum colour. But what I'm most excited about, you may have seen, is this bad boy here. What do you think it is? What is different? Who can tell me? It's the 15-inch Surface Book. Of course, we do have this available in New Zealand, but she is online only. So I'm very excited. Even I haven't seen one of these in the flesh yet. So let's have a quick look. RDX installed, but I really just want to play with the pen. Sorry for the awesome video quality here, guys. I'm trying to create in multiple different ways at the same time. Check out that tilt technology of the new Gen pen. 4,096 points of pressure, tilt technology. Of course, I can flip and erase, and I can use that button on there to select. It's got one of the different pen tips, if you can see there, not the standard one out of the box. So, you know, we can change those pen tips around to be able to draw and create as we wish. I wish I could draw something awesome for you guys, but I cannot. But look at that. Should we pick a different colour as well? Why not? Let's go with a nice maroony pink colour. And you can see there, even with tilt, it does have that pressure sensitivity as well. So I'm pressing nice and lightly, getting some shading, and it's coming further out. Imagine if I was actually a magical artist and you guys got something great out of that. I was really drawn to this because we do also have dials paired to all Surface Book 2 devices. So I can scroll, I can change the volume, brightness, undo. As you guys know with the dial, it does change varying from app to app and what you're in. I did have a quick little play, but I'm not confident enough. I can't do it with all of my hands on camera, but they have this awesome Cano Pixel kit set up through RDX. So what it is it's a little light game coding exercise. So through the app on the device, it tells you how to code, and you can change those lights and see it react in real time, which is super, super awesome. Something else exciting that we have in New Zealand but I haven't seen out of the box yet, this bad boy right here, that Surface Precision Mouse. And even with my tiny childlike hands, look at how nice that, oh, this is a first feel for me too, guys, so that is awesome. Cool, so that's switching between desktops using that side button just there. Of course, we've got all of those beautiful Surface laptops and all of their colour glory. Fletch, red, it goes faster. We've got the graphite gold. Now this one is my personal colour favourite. I know that it hasn't been the most popular at home. I wonder how it's gone here in Canada. Oh, look at it. I really like it. What do you guys think? Do you guys have a personal favourite of Surface laptop? I know Cobalt Blue has been very popular, and of course paired so nicely with the correct arc mouse, really being able to personalise that user experience. This is the one that Jono talked about on the podcast last week. Look at that build, and how underneath, you know, it's really, really nice and flat. And that snap nice and easy. I can do it one-handed while filming, and look at how beautifully those colours match as well. Performance made personal, so freaking epic. Keep walking around. So we've got the Surface Studio, and what's so awesome about the Microsoft store here is that we do have a lot of OEM product as well. So there's a Dell XPS 27-inch. We've got some creative stuff for the classroom featuring the Surface Book 2. and one of these. It's called a Back USA. I can imagine that we're not going to have that back at home, so we'll keep going on past. Microsoft 365 for Business. And I saw this the other day, and I really, really like this, is the fact that there is an iPhone in the Microsoft Store. Not only my one that I'm filming on, but there is also an iPhone here, and it's talking about Microsoft apps on iOS and Android. We talked about that a lot in like Fletcher's story last week, how he talked about OneDrive and how, you know, it could connect through his devices no matter what platform he was on. So that is super awesome. Look at the layout. Look at how good it is. We've got OEM by brand, we've got Dell, we've got HP, we've got everybody in here. We've also got some Razer gaming devices, which we'll go over to as well. But first, let's go to John O'Cochrane's favourite category over here. We've got PCA. So we've got a lot of first party and some third party accessories. We've got Microsoft Office, of course. We've got some beautiful Jack Spade and Kate Spade cases. Look at the glory of these colours. Oh, that Alcantara feel. Never underestimate the power of touch. I get to use one of these bad boys every day, and I still can't help but going up to it and touching it. We've got the dock, we've got the adapters, we've got some Kate Spade cases, some beautiful Arc mouse, and of course the Surface Precision mouse. And I may have to pick one up while I'm over here, because just that few seconds you guys saw me holding it before. Very smooth, very nice in the hand, and I can imagine it will be great to use while editing this podcast. That involves a lot of clicking, as I'm sure you guys can imagine. At the moment I am using the Microsoft ergonomic keyboard, the ergonomic mouse, sorry, but that new Surface Precision mouse does indeed feel super duper awesome. Alright, I have jumped over to the other side of the store, but this is the gaming department of the area. Look how nice that chair is. I might have to ask where they got that from. Sea of Thieves and the Xbox One S on display, of course. And here's my favourite little area, Windows Mixed Reality. So check out their awesome setup to demo it. They've got a nice little a pen, if you will, but you know, safety first when demoing. And over here as well, they do have, they were demoing yesterday when I was in the Samsung Odyssey, which is one that we currently don't have in New Zealand. So that's super awesome to be able to test out. We've got Lenovo, we've got HP, we've got Dell, and we've got that beautiful blue Acer one as well. How many of you guys have tried mixed reality? I'd love to hear in the comments below. Just let us know how it's gone for you guys, whether you enjoyed it, what you love most about it. I'm a huge fan of Superhot and all of the other awesome kind of active games in there. Didn't think I would be, but the experience is pretty next level. This is quite exciting as well. There's a range of Razer laptops, which we don't have available in New Zealand. So the Razer Blade Pro. Look at where the power button is. How do we feel about that, guys? Look at where this trackpad is. Very different design to kind of your traditional laptop and what I'm used to. Scroll wheel there. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's sleek, and of course this is a powerhouse designed for gaming. Look, I naturally went like that. There's no trackpad there. Let's take it over. We will right click. Let's look at the specs on this bad boy, because of course it is a nice thin body. Okay, so as anticipated, this is one hell of a powerhouse as well. There's some nice smaller configurations, sleek designs. We've got to assume it's a touchscreen. Yes, we've got a touchscreen over here as well. So some really nice designs from Razer. Obviously not in New Zealand at this point in time, but hopefully one day we can check them out. And if you guys haven't seen it out of the box, this is the Minecraft console as well. Looking pretty. I bet that she's been really, really popular in store at home as well. And of course the wide range of games and accessories as well. Awesome, I hope you guys have had a great walk around the store with me. Back to you, Fletch. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you later.
Thank you so much for that, Hannah. It was really cool seeing the insides of a Microsoft store. I've never actually been to one myself, so getting that insight was very, very awesome. I hope you guys at home enjoyed it as well. And thank you to Karen and Jono for hopping on and doing an interview with us. Again, they showed us some great insights and knowledge. I'm looking forward to getting them back on next time. Make sure you post some feedback in the comments below. We always want to get bigger and better so that you guys keep coming back and watching. Make sure you keep an eye out on the Facebook page next Wednesday and we'll post another podcast, or subscribe to our YouTube channel and get it direct. Thanks guys, I'll catch you next time.